Well, hello and a very warm welcome to the Sky F1 Vodcast. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by not only Johnny Herbert, but Mercedes Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri, great to see you.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm very well, thanks. I'm obviously keen to get back to racing, but that's not so far away anymore. But yeah, all good.
I tell you what, Johnny, most people look worse in lockdown, but I swear Valtteri looks better. He's tanned, his hair looks good.
Yeah, he looks younger as well. What have you been up to? What have you been using? What creams have you been using?
I think I spent a couple of months in Finland, which is apparently good for your skin, you know, the water and everything. Who knows?
Of course. Of course.
As soon as lockdown's lifted, I'm booking my ticket. You've also been doing a lot of training with your girlfriend, Tiffany Cromwell, on bikes. I've seen the pictures. She's been keeping you fit, hasn't she?
Definitely, yes. Actually, I did, it was, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, I did fitness test that I normally do once or twice a year, and it was my best ever. So, you know, that's what it does to you when you have that, as a driver, you don't really get that many months normally to focus on your fitness. It's only the winter break, but now it's been kind of extended break and been really systematic on the training, and it's been amazing to see the results and, you know, how good you feel. And yeah, definitely keeps me fit trying to follow her, and plus all the other training as well. So it's been a lot for that.
Will that give you the edge, Valtteri?
Yes, definitely it will. I'm sure.
I think so. Give us a bit of an idea, Valtteri, because I've been watching you on your cycling rides. I just about get to about an average on probably a 25, 30 kilometer ride of about 30 kilometers, actually. What do you get to as far as an average speed when you do your long bikes?
Well, it for sure really depends a lot on the terrain. You know, if you're, example, the last 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, I've been in Monaco, and with the mountains there, obviously it's a bit slower of the mountains. But on like reasonably flat surfaces, like we did this ride in Finland, that was 200 kilometers, and our average speed was 29, right. And that's the basic endurance, not really pushing hard. So
yeah, so you're in good shape.
I feel pretty good.
As you said, yeah. You were talking last year, actually, that you need to sort of come into this season in a new Valtteri Bottas. Do you feel you've achieved that?
I really feel that this extra time off that was unexpected made only good for me. You know, it's such a rare time that as a driver you get so much time off and actually do different kind of things, and also time to really focus on yourself and, you know, improving yourself physically and mentally. Plus, I've been able to drive a lot. I think maybe some other drivers might have struggled to drive during the lockdown, but I've been doing karting, rallying every week since we came back from Melbourne. So I feel good also driving wise.
Good.
How come you've been able to do that? What do you know that we don't?
I know places, I know people. So.
Connected. Now, talking about getting back out on track, you did just that yesterday. Tell us about the experience and just how good did it feel to be back in the car?
Felt really good for sure. Even though, you know, of course it was 2018 cars, so the cars have improved massively since, but still it was, I did have a smile on my face because Formula 1 cars, nothing compares to them. So it was nice to get the feel that actually after a few laps, things felt normal and driving felt good, and so it just gives
Sorry. It's gone out. Someone's arriving.
Yeah, I mean, it gave me a good confidence for the first race that I'm ready for it, and same for the team because of the new protocols. There were so many things that we were practicing, so obviously there was for me quite a bit of waiting and so on, but I think we are pretty comfortable with all the new things now and should be ready to race.
Now, as far as preparation, Valtteri, obviously we had a nice build-up. You had the normal testing we had in Barcelona. We all got to Australia. It didn't happen. Now you've had that time off and we're about to sort of restart again. What is it that you need to do? And I know you're so desperate for it to happen to win a world championship this year. What is it we're going to see different from you this coming season?
It's obviously going to be a pretty special season because it's going to be shorter than the planned amount of races. So every mistake will cost you much more than previously. And it's all about the consistency. And I feel that with the things we've been working with the team and with my core engineering team in terms of my driving style, I feel I have a couple of new things in my driving style toolbox that I can use, and could prove that in Barcelona testing. I felt in some type of corners I made good steps, and I've been focusing on that during the lockdown, driving other things, and I just feel I'm more complete as a driver, and also physically I'm peaking now. So hopefully that can really translate. But I'm very confident, mentally in a good place, and gonna go all out, no doubt.
That's great. I mean, you sound absolutely raring to go. Do you feel under pressure? Because you obviously only have a year left on your contract, and much is being talked about with Sebastian Vettel now looking for a drive. You've obviously got Ocon and Russell sniffing around what is a coveted seat, no doubt. But do you feel that that pressure is a good thing, that you can harness, that you can really go out there and prove yourself?
You know, it's same as every year for me. I've always had, maybe I've had multi-year contracts, but always with options. So it's no different in any way than any other season for me. So there's always talks, and the situation has been the same for me. And I find it quite funny that, with not even a single race done, there's been people getting my seat, etc. So it made me laugh a couple of times. So no pressure from that side, because I still have just at my clear goal for the season in my mind, and that's it. And things will, then sort themselves one way or another, whatever going to happen. So I have no stress about that at all.
And talking of stress, obviously with Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel leaving, are you surprised that Seb has left Ferrari?
Obviously, I think, them as teammates, Seb and Charles, I think there was maybe some sparks sometimes, which can be healthy. But I don't know, he had his period at Ferrari, and I don't know, honestly, I have no idea what really happened, if he wanted to leave or if someone wanted him to leave. I don't know. So it's difficult to say. Everyone makes their own decisions, and I don't even know whether he wants to stay in F1 or not. So who knows? So not that much to say about that. So I'm really
Does anything like that worry you, that driver is on the market? Or as you remember when I was at Benetton, for example, with Michael, there was always talk of someone else sort of coming on board. Is that something you just try and push away, or does it actually get to you?
No, it doesn't get to you. We've been very honest also with my team all the time. What's the situation and how it's going to be contract-wise and etc. And I got really pretty straight message that no, they are not considering Seb. So I said, fine, no worries then.
Now, obviously, we go into the new season when it eventually starts with 2 triple headers, which sounds insane to get your head around. How much of a challenge do you think this will be to the drivers, the teams? And when you consider all the protocol, you got a brief insight into that yesterday. How difficult do you think it will be to roll out in practice?
I think it's going to be a challenge for every team and whoever team can be on top of their game from the first race weekend onwards has a big advantage for the season. So that's why we've been practicing that, and I'm sure other teams will do as well. But I don't think it's that bad. It's in Europe, so the travels, they're not too bad, and there will be less extra kind of hassle in the paddock and around the race weekend because of less obviously partner activities, less I think media commitments. So there will be actually more time during the race weekend to really focus on the racing itself. So, and I think we all in F1 we have built some kind of routine, so I don't see that really a big trouble, and I think everyone has got plenty of rest and family time anyway, so should be okay.
Yeah, and what about, obviously, it's time that we're all thinking about going racing once again. What about you and the team? Are you worried about anyone particular that is going to be a challenge, especially going to that Austria race? Red Bull comes to mind.
Yeah, Red Bull definitely comes to mind because I think they showed really good performance in testing, and I'm sure they're putting all in for that those 2 race weekends in Austria for their home race. So for sure they will be strong, but who knows? You know what people have been able to deliver since testing. We didn't get to see a single session in Melbourne that whichever team had like big upgrades or anything. So I still think top 3 teams is going to be between us, Red Bull, Ferrari. But how the order and gaps are going to be, I have no idea. We'll see.
Yeah, good track for you.
It's been a good track. Yes, I had 1 or 2 pole positions there. I won a race there, so yes, it's a good track for me, and I really look forward to it.
I bet you cannot wait to get back racing. In the meantime, there's obviously been so much going on off the track and social media, and your teammate really put his weight behind the Black Lives Matter movement vociferously, passionately. I know that you have always supported him off the track and on it in your way as a teammate. How do you feel about the stance that he's taken, and what F1 could and should do from here?
I think it's good to speak out. You know, I think it's very important matter, and the whole team of ours, including me, we support diversity, and yeah, so I think he's got a right mindset because he's obviously got lots of followers and lots of kind of power in that sense. So it's good that he speaks out, and yeah, the full team of us, including me, is fully supporting that. So obviously, I have to say, sometimes during this last few months, even with the COVID, but then now also these kind of things, sometimes I just think the world is crazy, you know. So I hope we can settle everything down and you know, continue the life in all things with a nice and positive way very, very soon.
And I'm sure by supporting one another, we can do just that. Valtteri, it's great to see you again, and you're clearly in fine fettle and ready to get back racing. So we will see you in Austria. But until then, look after yourself, and thank you so much for your time.
Likewise. Thank you, and take care. See you soon.
Seeing you.
Good.
Well, Johnny, I don't know about you, but I think that's the most calm, refreshed, prepared, fit Valtteri Bottas we've ever seen.
I have to say, he every year comes back, I think, in a stronger way. And I think, like he was saying, it's mentally, it's very important, but it's that physical side as well. Very interested about his test being the best test he's ever had. So, yeah, he's going to the right track, like he said as well. He's been very successful there. And we all know the only way to beat someone like Lewis Hamilton is to do it on track. But it's that consistency which looks, to me, that he's mentally in a very, very strong place.
And interestingly, he's taken real confidence from the fact Toto Wolff has certainly firmly said to him, Sebastian Vettel isn't an option for Mercedes.
No, that was very interesting, wasn't it? Yes, that was a nice thing for as a driver to hear from your boss. So that's a positive thing he can take into the season without a worry that maybe there is another driver that might get thrown in, someone like a Vettel with a 4-time world champion that he is. So, yeah, it's all looking good signs for him.
Absolutely. Johnny, every time I speak to a driver at the moment, it just gets us more and more excited to get back racing, doesn't it? Because you can see it in their eyes.
I know. And it is exciting to see, you know, we're going to hear those cars back on track again. We know that they're all going to be sort of really wanting to get the best from themselves, which only means the entertainment, I hope, is going to be very tough with the big boys at the front fighting out for race wins and championships. So it looks as if we're going to have a bit of a cracking start when we get to Austria.
Well, I'm delighted to say we're now joined by Alfa Romeo's Antonio Giovinazzi. Antonio, how are you? Great to see you again.
Yeah, hello Natalie. All okay, thank you. Quite happy because the start of the season is quite close, so finally we can be back on the track quite soon.
Now, what I want you to do is just to turn your head to the side so I can see just how long your ponytail is now.
It's long, Natalie. You can see.
That's like fun. I need to see it all its glory. How long's the hair?
Oh, it's long. Look.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, I already heard in the team that, last year in Red Bull Ring, I scored my first points, but I lost also a little bit of my hair. So they start to say already now that if will happen again in Red Bull Ring, they will cut again my hair. But I need to for sure to score points, but to don't lose no hair, because I already said before the start of the season that I will cut my hair just with the podium. So I will go with this bet.
Johnny, he's like Samson. His strength is in his hair. Don't lose it.
No,
don't lose the lot.
Well, if it's Samson we're talking about, my
I
man
know.
needs to have a strong season. Look at that. That is. I've never had it that long. I must have. When I was doing Formula 3, I had quite some long locks, but that, I have to say, that's the winner.
Magnificent. We were talking earlier about the fact that you are the only Italian on the grid. How does that make you feel? A sense of pride, a sense of responsibility?
No, I think I'm just really proud, to be that Italian. That I think since long time now. It was 8 years without an Italian driving in Formula One grid, and I'm really proud to be that Italian that finally bring back the Italian flag on the grid, especially with another Italian brand like Alfa Romeo. So yeah, I'm really happy, and it was really special for me, to feel the passion and the support in Monza last year. So I was really proud, and I'm really proud again to do my second year. And my one of my main targets is to be fast and make the Italian fans and Italian the fans of motorsport proud of me. So this is my main target.
Well, I'm sure they are. I mean, a great result in Italy last year. Does that mean that you felt somewhat put out that you weren't given the call for the Ferrari seat when when the announcement about his news came out?
I'm still part of that family, and I was really happy, to be also part of that list, to have maybe the possibility to take that seat. I think in the end, in my career, I never had something easy. I always fight. I always did a lot of sacrifice to have something back. And I think now was maybe not the right time. Just after 23 Grand Prix, last year I grew up really, really well during the year, but this year we didn't race, so it was really difficult for me. And but still I'm still young, so I'm sure that if I continue like that and I continue to fight and work really hard, I can finally have that possibility in the future.
You talk about fight. Now, I think we've seen a lot of fight from you, because it was a difficult beginning for you. I remember that sort of awful race you had in China, but then you've got stronger and stronger. You're up against Kimi Räikkönen. How do you feel that you're doing against Kimi, and what's your relationship like?
Yeah, my career in the end was always like that. Like you say, I did 2 Grand Prix back in 2017, where one was well in Melbourne, and the second one in China went quite bad. And then I did a big stop in my career of 2 years, and was difficult in that moment, because I finished with that Grand Prix, ending my career in Formula One with that Grand Prix was not easy, for confidence and everything. But I always believe in myself. I always fight, like I said before. And finally, I get back, the opportunity to race like official driver last year. And then also last year, I had a difficult start of the season, difficult first races. But then again, I fight back, and I grow up like a driver. And like you say, second part of the season, I think compared to Kimi, was quite strong. A few times I was in front of him or really close to him, and I score similar points of him in the second part of the season. So I always had that thing in my career. But now I need to I have already one season on my shoulder, so I need to start this second season on different side, and push really well, and I try to scoring points straight away from the first race.
Yeah, so a 9th in Italy, a 5th in Brazil. You were even leading the race briefly in Singapore. Johnny, I don't know about you, but I feel that we don't talk enough about Antonio Giovinazzi, because, you're clearly a very talented driver. Why do you say that the timing isn't right now to be going up to perhaps one of the leading teams on the grid?
I think first of all, if I only had one season. I know that Charles also had one season and then went to Ferrari straight away. But from my side, I think if we're looking back, we struggled also on the second part of the season with the car. So also, if I grew up like a driver, the result was not really there. But I'm sure, that if I'm still part of Ferrari, and also what Mattia said, that they still, follow me and follow especially on my career is something really great. And I'm sure that still working with Alfa Romeo, still we can do a great result together. And this is my main target for now because he's my team now. But in the future we will see. I'm sure that if I can fight like always I did and do a lot of work like I'm doing now. Today I'm already on the fourth activity. I did the gym in the water, cycling, gym back, and I will go back on the gym. So I'm working really hard because I want big things, and we'll see. Now I need to focus for now on my main job, that is doing a fantastic job with Alfa Romeo, and then in the future I know that I'm still Ferrari driver, so I'm sure I can have maybe in the future the opportunity.
I think it's interesting you asked that one, Natalie, because from my experience, I always remember when I joined Benetton with Michael Schumacher, and there was a lot of people that wouldn't do that or didn't want to do that or go up against Michael. But do you feel, Antonio, that the opportunity when they come, sometimes you've actually got to jump into that seat, whatever the situation? So with Ferrari, have you got the belief, and have they got the belief that sometime down the line, with the way that you've been driving, as you said in the second part of last season, that there is still a chance of a seat being available for you? Because they don't always come along at the right time.
Yeah, this is true. Of course, if the Ferrari call came this year, I will get straight away. This I'm sure. But in my career, I always had some open doors, because sliding doors. Sorry, because from karting I met the Indonesian guy, and after that, my career in Formula Car was started. And then I had a call in Ferrari after a strong year in Formula 2. So, I believe that if you do the maximum you can, I'm happy with what I did. And I'm not, if I think about the past and I say, okay, I didn't do enough, so I didn't reserve what I have now, I will not be happy. But I'm really happy with my career, because I did always the maximum I could do. And I'm sure, if I still pushing like I always did, I can have something great in the future.
Now, Antonio, lockdown's been a strange time for everyone. I know that your girlfriend is particularly peeved that you've tried to cram a sim into your, well, let's say not necessarily spacious apartment in Monaco. We know how small these places are. But you've also been dogged with gremlins, because I've obviously been watching, and Johnny's been involved in many of these virtual Grand Prix, but you've had so many technical issues. What's going on? Is it your girlfriend? Is she sabotaging your races?
Maybe because she's not happy that I'm spending too much time there. So as soon the Grand Prix started, everything's off. So no, I don't know, to be honest. Virtual Grand Prix, first of all, we did this for funny things, to bring the people to who love motorsport to watch some virtual Grand Prix. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. I could finish a race now. Last race in Baku, my game crashed on the qualifying, and I was not able to start the race. So it's for sure it's disappointing. But I'm sure I can take all the problems in the virtual Grand Prix, and finally, when the reality will start, I will not have any issue, and I can have a clear season. I hope.
There was a lot of the other drivers, sorry, Natalie, that like Charles, like George, they've been doing other forms of racing, track racing, or lawnmower racing. Have you been trying to do the same thing? Have you done the same thing?
Yeah, sometime now. To be honest, I'm spending not much time on the simulator because gym is open and I'm starting to do, like I say, a preparation. So simulator is back now. I was using too much when after Melbourne, when everything was closed and nothing was possible to do. So simulator was the only things I could do, and there honestly I was spending maybe 8 hours a day. But now it's less. I'm focused now on the 24 hours that I will do on Sunday, on Saturday actually. So I'm training quite hard there with the Ferrari guys because I will share a team like a car with Charles and other two good drivers like Tonizzi and Bonito. So now I'm focused on that one, and hopefully I will not have problem because after is a big problem because it's not just me. Is also 3 other drivers, so we'll see in this week. To be honest, I need to decide if the game is comfortable without problem. I will do the race. If not, I need to skip because I will not destroy the race also to the other drivers.
That doesn't sound like fun to me, Nats. 24 hours.
Do you know what? I think the one person that wants real racing to come back more than Antonio is his girlfriend, just to get him out flat. Now, Antonio, Serious Matters with Black Lives Matters has dominated both the headlines, consumed all our thoughts, and you spoke out on your social media platform saying, as long as we believe that our differences make us superior or inferior, we won't live in a just world. I thought that was beautifully put and clearly was taken very well by your fans and followers. Why was it important for you to speak out?
Yeah, you can see that is a strong words, but I think it deserve, because what happened was not right, and I think also the initiative of Lewis that was right. I'm ambassador of Italy, and I need to show also the support from here, and I think was right to do, and is right to do what also Lewis is doing. So yeah, I was just I think like I say, I think I just deserved what with the situation we had.
And Johnny, I guess that solidarity up and down the grid is crucially important, not just for Lewis, but for everybody that looks up to Formula One.
Yeah, I think so. And, it's great that support there has been there for Lewis, and the drivers have been supporting each other in many respects. And I think that's absolutely brilliant that we do that. Things that happen like that in the world are just unbelievably wrong. And I think it's great that we bring it up, we spread it around the world, that this should change. Hopefully that will change, and hopefully the drivers are part of that for the future, a better future.
Absolutely. Hear, hear. Well, Antonio, it's been great to have your company, and your hair is resplendent. We are in awe of the locks. And we look forward to seeing you in Austria. I'm sure, like all of us, you can't wait to get back racing safely, of course.
Yeah, can't wait. It's almost less than 1 month, so it's good for the people that love motorsport that finally we are back, like you see, on the safety situation. So yeah, let's start.
Ciao for now, Antonio. Thank you. Thank
Ciao.
you. Johnny, what a lovely guy. It strikes me that we don't give enough airtime to Antonio Giovinazzi.
No, it's funny you say that. My daughter, Amelia, youngest, she always says to me, why don't we talk about Antonio more? And I tell you what's great. There was that end of the performances last year up against Kimi. Now we can start to talk about him because the boy seems to be on a roll. And what lovely confidence to go with that hair.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your company today, Johnny. As ever, a pleasure. Nice to see that smiley face again. Make sure you join us this Friday because Jenson Button is doing a watch along of his epic win in Canada 2011. And we've got the F1 show back on Monday, and we've got the last virtual Grand Prix in Canada, virtually anyway, this Sunday. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.